the American Climate Leadership Awards 2025. Wait for it. Wait for it.
You ready?
KBLA Talk 1580 was recently selected as one of 10 finalists being considered for this prestigious award. Hundreds of organizations, institutions, and even cities were nominated in the selection process. But KBLA Talk 1580 has made it to the finals. You're invited to watch live on Wednesday, April 16th at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central, as Eco America announces the winner and the runner-up, awarding over $200,000 in prize money. To watch live, just go to ecoamerica.org to register and attend the online ceremony. That's ecoamerica.org. Don't miss the presentation of the American Climate Leadership Awards 2025, Wednesday, April 16th, and wish us luck. Caring about the climate, caring about the community, changing the conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
My name is D-Nice. My name is D-Nice. My name is D-Nice. Taking out your suckers and you don't know how I did it. Yo, this is D-Nice, and I'm about to drop some funky lyrics on this track I made up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and you don't stop. Yo, my name is D-Nice, although I hate to admit it. Taking out your suckers and you don't know how I did it. See, every episode remains in this mode. Very cool, very calm. There's no sweat in my palm. I just pick up the mic, proceed with a song. I get right to the point. My composition's not long or short. It's like a sport, hanging in the middle. But now if you're puzzled, let me kick the whole riddle. That my name is Derek.
I hate to step on this track, but I'm only stepping on it because the legendary DJ D-Nice is actually in studio live right now. So if you're listening live, turn us on. You can see him. He has one of his beautiful and cold trademark hats on. But we are celebrating today the 5th anniversary of Club Quarantine. I said to you 2 hours ago at the top of the show, I cannot believe it's been 5 years, but everybody and their mama was inside Club Quarantine. And I want to talk in this hour about the power of music in the midst of tragedy and uncertainty. But does it feel like 5 years for you?
No, it actually feels like it still feels fresh.
Yeah.
You know, I will say this, it's incredible to be here today. Today, March 19th, 2020 was actually when I named it Club Quarantine.
Wow.
So technically this is the 5th anniversary today of Club Quarantine.
And I'm honored to have you here, man.
Man.
So Nice walked in the studio today, walked in the building. And it just turns out that Cornell West, Dr. West, is actually in the building today.
Yes.
He has his own radio program, and he's actually doing it live today from my studio here in L.A. So when I get out of this chair in 55 minutes, he will come in and do his own show. But when he walked in, we had a time in the hallway.
Oh, my gosh.
When we both saw D-Nice walk in the building, we lost our minds, man.
I was happy to see you, but when I turned the corner and I saw Dr. West, I was like, what? You guys, I mean, listen, I'll be 55 years old this year, you know, so I pretty much grew up listening to you and just listening to him. And to even just have this connection with you guys is just amazing. You know?
Yeah. Well, we feel the same way about you, man. You on the soundtrack of our lives.
Thank you.
And certainly 5 years ago, you did something for us that only you could do. And we're going to talk about the power of music, as I said, as we move through this hour. But take me back to this day, 5 years ago, to your point when you named it Club Quarantine.
Yeah, 5 years ago, I jumped on Instagram Live for the first time, and started sharing stories. It wasn't even a DJ set. I didn't even have DJ gear set up. Mm-hmm. It was just me sharing stories about records that I had produced in the past, like the one you played, my intro song. You know, that I produced that in 1990. I was like 19 years old, and I would always tell these stories. But then all of my friends would just randomly pop up, you know, like Big Daddy Kane was in there, and Bun B, and John Legend, and it was super early, like just 200 or 300 people just listening to me share stories about music and songs that just felt so good. When Never Too Much was out, I was like 12, and I would share the story of it with my aunt. Then I would play a piece of it, and then people started to pretend that they were in this club. It's like, hey, put me on the list. You know, everyone started to use their imagination. Put me on the list. Yeah. Oh, who's sending bottles over? And we were all just having fun in this, you know, what we thought was going to last for 2 weeks. Remember that? 2 weeks. And then this thing just took off. You know, I started DJing and playing these sets, and we renamed it Club Quarantine. And you know, the 21st of March in 2020 was the day when the world found out what we were doing. This little small group of 300 people, the world figured it out, you know, and it was just beautiful. You know, we used music. Actually, I'll take that back. Music was secondary to what was really happening. It was actually a place for people to stay connected to one another, and a place for people to have great conversation, to meet new people. People had saw like friends that they hadn't seen in forever, but they saw them in this club, in this virtual club, and that is something I think, you know, because of what happened then. Even, you know, I think depression rates would have been a lot higher if we all didn't figure this out, a way to stay connected. And I think we really did something good for people.
I take your point about the fact, Nice, that we used it as a way to stay connected, but it is inarguable that music was the magnet.
Absolutely.
That music was the draw.
Absolutely.
What do you make of that?
Well, so as a DJ who, you know, I've been fortunate enough to play some of the most amazing events throughout my career. You know, I started playing. I left hip-hop alone as a recording artist and came back on the scene just around early 2000s. And from then, most people didn't know what I was doing, like D-Nice the rapper. But if you were in the industry, you knew that I'd played everywhere: Super Bowl, Oscars. I did Barack's second inauguration. I was literally everywhere before Club Quarantine. Because of all of those shows that I had done in the past, I just loved playing music that move your spirits, you know, like when we go to a BET Awards, you can play Luther, you can play Stevie and rock Jay-Z, you know. So during that time when we were all quarantined, I felt like it was a chance for me to play music that families could listen to. Like, we all love Empire State of Mind, Jay and Alicia. But man, one night when I played Stevie Wonder, Mr. Bojangle in my set on Club Quarantine, the hearts were going crazy, because it wasn't about who has the latest hit. It was about what felt good when you were on that other end, and songs that you haven't heard in a while. And then I sneak some new joints in there too. But for the most part, I play music that really move your spirits.
When we come forward, and I'm glad I got you for the hour, I want to talk about that playlist. I mean, there are playlists.
Yes.
Plural, right? All those S's. We'll talk about those playlists. We will talk about his 2 shows only at the Apollo this weekend. He's busy. He was busy before Club Quarantine. Still is busy now. We'll talk about these 2 iconic shows this weekend to celebrate this 5th anniversary. I am honored to have D-Nice in studio right now on Tavis Smiley.
Generous listening.
Charitable listening.
It's why everybody wants to talk to Tavis. The conversation continues when we come forward.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Individual results may vary. Consult a doctor prior to use.
You've lost so much weight. How'd you do it?
I got medical treatment for weight loss through Zelty and lost 50 pounds. I struggled for the longest time, but Zelty makes it easy and affordable to get weight loss treatment 100% online. Zelty providers can prescribe FDA-approved weight loss medications clinically shown to help people lose weight, like Wegovy, Zepbound, and others.
I've heard those medications can help you lose weight, but aren't they expensive?
Zelty can help get the medication covered by insurance, so it's as little as $0 a month.
What if you don't have insurance?
No problem. Zelty may be able to help you get other GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% off the price of name brand medications.
I'm ready to start losing weight. How do I get started with Zelty?
Just text.
Text SUNNY to 200-300 to get started today with Zelty and see if weight loss medications like Wegovy and Zepbound are right for you. Don't wait. Text now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text SUNNY to 200-300. That's SUNNY to 200-300. SUNNY to 200-300.
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
The revolution will not be televised.
What's up? It is Killer Mike, also known as Michael Render, and I'm encouraging you to listen to more, not less, of Truth Time with Dr. Cornel West and Senator Nina Turner on KBLA Talk 1580.
Are you having having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024 by USA Today, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 500,000 happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
I'm Tavis Smiley. He is D Nice, and I'm honored to have him in studio. We celebrate the 5th anniversary of Club Quarantine. You mentioned Luther, you mentioned Stevie. I mean, talk to me about these playlists, man, 5 years ago.
Man, so what's crazy is that I don't have any playlists.
Mm-hmm.
I literally just play what I'm feeling when I'm thinking about it.
Wow.
Like, we know so much music, coming from, look, I was born in '70, pretty much grew up in the 80s. Grew up when hip-hop was in its infancy, so I know all of these songs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're just there, DeBarge to David Bowie. Because back in the day, there was no separation in terms of, like, genre.
Yeah.
We used to listen to the Oak Ridge Boys on black stations.
Elvira.
I mean? Exactly. Yeah. We heard,
My heart's on fire. Elvira. Giddy up. Boom, bop, I'm sorry, go ahead. Yeah,
so it just, like, I'll play a song, and if it reminds me of something, I'll start humming it, like, oh my gosh, let me mix this in.
Right.
And it always works, and it feels good, it's fun.
Yeah.
You can sit back, listen to the music, and just have a great time. But no playlist.
See that really impresses me, because this is your lane, not my lane. But I've watched you work 1,000 times, and to know now that there's no playlist, that you're playing what you're feeling, and still in the moment you got to find the groove.
Yes.
You can't just get in anywhere.
No, you can't get in.
You got to find the groove. This is inside baseball, but talk to me about just doing it in real time when it hits you, but being able to get right in the groove.
All right. Oh, I love this conversation here. So one day I walked into a party. Questlove was DJing. Mm-hmm. This was like maybe around 15 years ago. And Questlove was playing. Questlove is, if you don't know everyone, he's from the Roots, which you all should know anyway.
Everybody knows Questlove, yeah.
Quest was playing, he was mixing. I walked in, and he was mixing Nirvana with Belle Biv DeVoe's Poison. Well, when it hit that stab, it went to Nirvana. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's not DJing just because it's a hot record. He's playing from like a drummer's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned to tap into that. I'm not really a drummer, but I love the beats.
Yeah.
So when I DJ, it's always about what the rhythm feels like, what the beat feels like, and then I'll start blending those records.
Yeah.
And because I just know a lot of songs, like you do this in your sleep.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. I sleep. I dream about music.
Yeah. I can see that. I can see that. Were you speaking of dreams, it had to be a dream, or at least feel like a dream when you looked up on any given night and you saw the people who were inside this club.
Yeah.
I was on one night. The Obamas were in there.
Yes.
I mean everybody. Beyonce was in there. I mean everybody.
I'll tell you what,
came
man.
inside this club quarantine.
I knew it was a thing when I actually never said this publicly. When someone that worked for our forever president said, hey, you want to know what his Wi-Fi is?
Yeah.
The name of the Wi-Fi was Club Quarantine. I was like, well, damn.
All right.
I was like, I definitely made it. No, but for me, for people like us who we've been in the position, and all we've done is give to people because this is what we love. I love community. I love music. I love watching people dance. I love conversing with people about life, like whatever it is. I just like to pour into people. And I've done that for decades with music, with production, with photography. To have this virtual party and to see all of these people that I poured into, somehow in some way. I've DJed for the Obamas. I played for Oprah. I've spun for all of these people, Rihanna. Like I've done everyone's private events. For me to have this virtual party, and for them all, instead of starting their own online, whatever, virtual, they all came to Club Quarantine. And they also talked to the people. So it wasn't just about me and the feeling that I had. It was that it gave people hope. It made everyone that was quarantined at home feel like, wow, we're all in this together. And it was it was a sad time. Obviously, people were transitioning. We were losing friends and family, and we couldn't properly say goodbye. But for what we all had to deal with, to have this kind of virtual space where music was leading, music was spiritual, and we were able to talk to each other it is just a feeling that I'll never forget.
So we referenced earlier in this conversation our friend and brother, Dr. Cornel West, who's in the building today. We can actually see him through the glass while we're having this conversation in the other studio. But as his student and his little brother for almost 40 years now, I guess, you can't talk to Dr. West for any length of time, as you well know, without him weaving in music in the conversation.
Yes.
That's just who he is.
Yes.
He weaves in music into every conversation he has ever had, I believe. And it raises a question for me of the power that music is so pregnant with.
Yes.
Even all these years later.
Yes.
And that, I got reminded of that during the Club Quarantine days, the power of music. And I don't want to call it much more than that, but just talk to me about how you processed in that moment or in any moment of your life this thing called music.
So music has been a major part of my life since I was 13 years old. 13 years old, living in the Bronx.
The Boogie Down.
The BDP, Bronx.
There you go.
Boogie Down Bronx. Boogie Down Productions, KRS-One, South Bronx. Even with that song, that was our first single. I was 15 years old. So music saved my life. Music. I was a kid in the hood, trying to figure out life. And it was those songs that were just taking me places, and mainly New Edition, which is so crazy because I was a young kid, so New Edition and Bobby Brown, like early days was just my vibe. I saw myself in them. And when I had the chance to start making music at 15, to hear that one, hear South Bronx on the radio for the first time, that was just it for me. I knew my whole life was going to be dedicated to the arts, not just music, because I'm a photographer.
I'm coming to that. Keep going, though.
But music, I think even with Club Quarantine or when I play my sets, I wouldn't, whenever I would DJ, if it was a big party in a club, at midnight, the average DJ would play whatever was new. Like, that's the hot moment. Me, at midnight, I was random. I'm playing like, I might throw Diana Ross on, and I remember at one
the boss.
Listen, I'm serious. Like I would just, but not that I wouldn't play if I'm only using these artists now because they're new or newer. I would drop Migos. I would play anything. Like if it feels good, I'm dropping it. But prime time, because I know the power of music and the power that music can pretty much dictate how you feel. How that night is gonna go.
Absolutely.
So that's why.
Whether you get her number or not.
Exactly. Who wants to play music and watch? People just stand around. But I play music because the vibe. One, it's always about vibrations for me. I try to leave you with this feeling that we had growing up. You didn't play the same song over and over again. You played music that felt a certain way.
Right.
So I don't play songs twice in the party. If you missed it, you missed it. You're gonna hear something else though, and you're gonna be just as happy.
And there's, to your point, I was just saying this to somebody the other day. There is so much music out there. I mean, so much great music has been made. I think it is a tragedy that we only hear a scintilla of it because they play the same stuff over and over again. But there's so... I hear a track every now and then and say, oh, my God, I ain't heard that in 20 years.
Yes.
I love being reminded of just the range of great music that's been produced over the years.
And also,
you ain't got to play the same thing twice in one night.
When we went through that dark time 5 years ago, listen, playing those songs, the records were so magical that even in those moments, the music that I was playing immediately took certain people back to their childhood.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like I would play during the quarantine, I would play Alexander O'Neal and Sherelle Saturday Love. But then I would immediately go back to when I first heard that song. Like, and I think about that every time I play a record, no lie. That I remember walking through Central Park, because I lived in Harlem at one point, walking through Central Park in the walkathon.
Yeah.
You know, and there was like this young girl who, her and her friends, she and her friends had this boombox, and they were blasting that song and playing it and walking through the park. So when I play that song, it reminds me of like not just that one person, but it's a song that makes women feel good.
Yeah.
So when I think of it as a good time, of a good feeling.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me happy, bro. Like, I get so much joy out of that.
What do you make? Thank you, Miles. Let that ride. What do you make of the fact is I am similar in this regard. And I think all of us are at a certain level that our memories are connected to music.
Yes.
Or that when we hear music, it connects us to our memories. What do you make of the fact that you're wired that way?
Man, I mean, I actually thought everyone was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I thought
you're on another level, though. You're on a whole other level, man. Yeah.
You know, remember this show? It was on HBO. I think like when HBO first started out, I think it was like one of their big shows called Dream On.
Oh yeah.
Remember Dream On?
Absolutely.
And like he grew up in front of the television.
That's right.
So anything that happened in his adult life, they would flash back to a TV show clip or whatever. That's literally me with music.
That's you. Yeah.
Like in any conversation, somebody will be talking about something. All of a sudden, I'm like singing a song.
Everything flashes you back.
Everything flashes me back to a song, you know. And I think like when I have conversations with a Questlove or with someone who loves music as much as I do, we all have that same kind of view, and you know, and where it's like, man, there's just something about it. It's always taking me places. It's such a deep part of my life.
Take me back to the Boogie Down and tell me what was happening, or inside your family, maybe all of the above. You tell me. But what was happening in your world that put you on the path to being a creative? Because to your point, you haven't just been an artist. You're not just an amazing DJ. You walked in here with your camera. It's sitting on the desk right now in the studio. Your haberdashery, Dr. West saw you started asking about the hat you're wearing today. Yes. I mean, you are a creative in every sense of the word. How did that happen?
Man, growing up in, between the Bronx and Harlem in those times, that's Harlem guys were fly, BX guys were creative, we were thinking about hip hop, and I couldn't sing. That's the reason why I was in hip hop, but I couldn't. I don't think. Hopefully, you've noticed. During my sets, I play a lot of R&B and pop and '80s. I got a funny story about how my life has been, and and I hate to name drop, but it's really. These are the moments that kind of define who I am.
Sure.
I'm friends with Dave Chappelle, and
who I love.
We love Dave. Yeah. And Dave, one day he was editing like his second Netflix special, and we're sitting in the studio in the editing suite, and it was me, Dave, all three members of De La Soul, and Stan Lathan, and we're sitting there and we're watching.
That's a genius right there.
Oh my God, Stan is the best, bro. Yeah. So we're watching this. And we all enjoyed it. We were watching the edits. And then at the end, the first question Dave said was, man, I never asked you this. How did you meet KRS? And I told him the story. I was living in the BX near Yankee Stadium, 5th floor tenement apartment. My cousin's boyfriend, we all lived together, but he was a security guard at the men's shelter in the Bronx. I thought I was going to be a chef. You know, I was trying to do anything, even though I was just warming up corned beef. It's like, hey, can you? I just knew I thought I was cooking, Tavis. I was like, oh, yes, I'm definitely going to be a chef. I've tried different things to get out of the hood, man.
You, as I said, you are a creative. You are a creative.
So
Go ahead.
my cousin's boyfriend asked if I would bring him some food to the shelter for lunch. So, you know, obviously there were no Ubers back then, so I had to walk from the west side of the Bronx to the east side with this food. When I arrived at the shelter, it was pretty much like a 3-mile walk, 3-mile distance. When I arrived at the shelter, he said to me, hey, I want to introduce you to someone. And he took me into the office of a gentleman who went by the name of DJ Scott LaRock. And Scott LaRock started BDP, and KRS lived in the shelter. So when I told Dave this story, he said, man, do you hear what you just said? I was like, yeah, I walked over to the shelter. He said, no, you walk 3 miles with food to feed your future. Man, my life changed in that meeting. Had I not gone to do that, then I'm not here doing this, you know. Had I not, you know, met Gordon Parks because he photographed us for like XXL magazine, then I wouldn't carry a camera with me every day, because I watched Gordon when he was like 70 years old, still loading his Hasselblad film back, taking pictures of all of us. And I was like, man, you could still do what you loved at 70? Oh, then I picked up a camera, you know, and then I sat next to him at a Paul Robeson show starring Avery Brooks at City College. And during the intermission, I was able to just ask Mr. Parks some questions, and he answered them all. Like, so had I not done that, then I wouldn't have this camera. Had I not played so much music for people and woke up one day and said, hey, I just want to play some music online, then I'm not here talking to you. You know, so I'm very humbled by all of these, you know, these opportunities that were presented to me to do some great things, man.
You just gave me goosebumps, man. To have met Gordon Parks is one thing. To have conversed with Gordon Parks is another thing.
Yeah.
But you reminded me, to have been photographed by Gordon Parks is all that.
Yes.
That's the thing, man.
I've been here a long time, man.
Yeah, I ain't mad at you, man. Let me just pause for a second, get my breath back. We will continue our conversation with D Nice when we come forward, celebrating 5 years since Club Quarantine. He's doing 2 big shows at the Apollo this weekend. We'll talk about that and so much more when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Why does Tavis say, when we come forward? Because he's not going back. And you don't have to go back either. Forward ever, backward never. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
I'm Alexandria Ikamoni with 4 things you should know from BIN News. More than 3 million people, including many black people, are under blizzard warnings across the central U.S. A powerful winter weather system is blasting heavy snow and high winds from the Central Plains to the upper Midwest. The classified files of the John F. Kennedy assassination are finally being made public for black people to view. The former president was assassinated in Dallas in 1963, though conspiracy theories by black people and other races have continued to circulate about the shooting ever since. Black basketball fans are excited that March Madness is underway in Dayton, Ohio. Alabama State and North Carolina made it to the first 4 of the NCAA men's basketball tournament last night. New York City's LaGuardia Airport is being called the best airport in the nation. New York's Port Authority accepted the award from Forbes Travel Guide. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
Running out of hot water? Water Heaters Only makes replacing your water heater easy. With one call and great pricing, Water Heaters Only can have you back in hot water the same day, within hours of your call. Visit waterheatersonly.com. That's waterheatersonly.com.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Clippers had a belief game last night. The kind of game where the players believe they can beat anybody when they play like they did against the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Clippers beat the team with the NBA's best record, 132-119 at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. Fourth straight win for the Clippers. A game-high 33 points from Kawhi Leonard. Ivica Zubac had 28 points and 20 rebounds. The stat of the night comes from Clippers guard Bogdan Bogdanović. He was 8 for 8 from the floor, including 4 for 4 on three-pointers. He finished with 20 points and 7 assists off the bench. The Alabama State men's basketball team won an NCAA tournament game for the first time in school history. A last-second layup by Amar Knox lifted the HBCU school to a 70-68 win over St. Francis of Pennsylvania. Alabama State advances to play Auburn, the number 1 seed in the South Regional, on Friday. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about. Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the Voice of Reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the Voice of Reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Compassion sponsorship means food, healthcare, education, and more for a child in poverty. And there are thousands of kids who've been waiting over a year and their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Text the word radio to 83393.
Stories are power. The Black Land Lost Narrative Archive Project is an effort to collect, preserve, and amplify stories of Black land loss. It will form an invaluable resource for scholars, authors, historians, educators, storytellers, policymakers, and change agents who wrestle with issues of restitution, reparations, racial inequality in home ownership, and the racial wealth gap. Through documenting stories of Black land loss, the archive will help demonstrate the magnitude of what Black families have lost and will continue the national dialogue to encourage paths to restitution, rebuilding, and healing. Support the Black Land Lost Narrative Archive Project by visiting www.blacklandlost.org or by donating at www.blacklandlost.org/donate. Spread the word to inspire awareness, activism, leadership, and change. And join us in making a lasting impact. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. Less monologue, more dialogue. Tavis Smiley continues right now.
So Miles Lowe, my board op, walks in here during the break and asks Nice what we should come back with, and this is it. Talk to me, DJ Nice.
Yeah, man, this was the song that I played every single day during the quarantine because this record was, you could dance to it. I was always thinking about the people out there The record feels like love, especially with Nile Rodgers on guitar and Bernard on bass, like and Kathy Sledge singing, and it was old school, and it just felt really good, man. So they call this the Club Quarantine theme song.
Turn it up, Miles. Turn it up. Let's rock for a second.
Hey.
What do you think brought the sun out today? It's my baby. Oh, help me sing. Without love, there's no reason to live. Without you, oh, what will I do with the love I gave?
It's the Club Quarantine theme song. I can only imagine. Let me put it this way. I suspect, not that you broke anyway, but I suspect you'd be infinitely more wealthy if you had a dime for every Negro who's ever walked up to you and asked you, what is that? What is that track?
Yes.
And I asked that because as time passes on, back to earlier point about all this great music, you're not just playing great stuff that sounds good and feels good. You're exposing people.
Yes.
You said earlier you don't use playlists, but you're exposing people to a playlist that they had not previously considered.
Yes.
And that's a blessing, man. That's a blessing.
And it's a blessing because I'm exposing people. I'm exposing a younger generation to the music and the spirit of the music that we listened to growing up.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also opening up, my generation to younger music.
That's
There's some songs that like. I was like the first person to play Childish Gambino's, Donald Glover's "This Is America."
Mm-hmm.
Like they sent that to me first to hey, can you play this during Club Quarantine?
Yeah.
So to be able to break records, break new records, and still play older records and kind of mix the audience is great. I tell you, I'm full of these little stories.
I love it.
But
it makes radio work. I tell my team all the time, radio is about anecdotal storytelling.
Oh,
the better your stories, the better the conversation. So, tell me a story.
So I had met a woman in passing during Essence Fest, the year before quarantine. So it's 2019, and it was strictly no flirting, nothing. It was just she was a nice person, and we exchanged social media info. Right, that was it. Never saw her again until Club Quarantine. Every day, every single day for a year and a half. Anytime I was on, she's a doctor out in Chicago. She was always in there talking to everyone. So when the world kind of reopened for a minute, she happened to be in LA and she said, I know this is going to sound crazy, but is it possible for me to stop by your home? I want to introduce you to someone. And immediately I was like, yes. But then I realized, I'm like, wait a minute, I don't really know this person. This Club Quarantine had me really thinking that I knew everyone. But she's a fantastic person. Right. But anyway, I said yes to her. I was like, all right, no problem. So she came over, didn't come in, kept everything when, I was coming outside to say hello. She was like, no, I need you to put your hat on. So I put my hat on.
Yeah.
So I go back, grab a hat, and I walked over to this car. And the back window rolled down, and I could see a car seat, and there was a little kid, and his head looked out of the window, and his mother was in the driver's seat, and his mother said, hey, baby, who's that? And he said, it's D-Nice. Oh, the best feeling. I'm emotional thinking about that right now because that's how powerful the music is, not even was. That's how powerful our music is.
Yeah.
That this kid, that's all his mom played was Club Quarantine.
Yeah.
So to him, I was the music guy.
Yeah.
I'm almost like Elmo because I needed the hat on.
You the Black Elmo.
I'm the Black Elmo. but it was something that families were able to play.
Oh yeah.
Whether for their kids or for their grandparents.
Yeah.
And that is the beauty of music, and that will forever be the beauty of Club Quarantine.
See what I mean? It's storytelling, man. It works every time. Speaking of that hat that she had you put on before you went outside to the car to watch the window roll down, when you walked in, the first thing Doc said was, "Brother, tell me about that hat you were in today."
Come on now.
So tell me about the hats.
So my hats, man. All right, this is another funny story.
Okay.
So I'm playing Club Quarantine.
Right.
I don't, I'm a man of a little older age at this point. At that time, I was 50. I started losing my hair when I was like late 30s. I mean, late 20s. Started losing, everything was loosening up, So I started wearing hats all the time.
Right.
But when I first started playing my IG sets, I would just wear one hat. And I was playing a song. My head was sweating. I was in the house, got these felt hats on. And so I played a song long enough for me to run and use the restroom.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of drinking back then. You're sitting at home, man.
I'm
A lot of
sure.
wine consumption. So anyway, when I returned in front of the screen, I was wearing a different hat. Not because I was trying to do something different. I just grabbed the wrong hat.
Right.
But I would always read the comments, and people were like, "Oh my gosh, hat change, hat change! Oh, we're gonna take a shot every time he changes his hat." So
Negroes don't miss nothing, man.
They don't miss
we
nothing.
don't miss nothing.
So then the hats became a thing.
I got it.
So like now it's like my thing. Even though I was already wearing the hats, but
Yeah.
like now I have this incredible collection
Yeah.
from a gentleman who's originally from California, but he lives in New York. And he pretty much makes all of my hats.
Yeah.
And I was sharing with you and Dr. West earlier. He was complimenting the hat that I'm currently wearing, and I was like, man, this hat actually this was a gift from the AKAs.
Yeah.
I was like, during the first year of the quarantine, people were so kind to me, which is why I do these shows, man, because people were so kind. I mean, I did not have food at home, brother. People were sending me groceries.
No, I see it.
People were kind. People saved their money to send me hats, not one hat, 10. They would just send hats, send food, send shirts, send whatever, as long as I was playing music, because they saw what I was doing, and they knew that everything, what was happening was life-changing for people, and so I never want to forget that part of it, because as much as I love the music, man, that community that came there and listened every day, no matter what time I was on, and it wasn't just about every celebrity, it was John 634 and Susie Jane 125, and it was all of these people who were consistently in there showing love.
I see the tears in your eyes.
Man,
I see it and I feel it, and I'm sure the audience does as well. What did you learn in Club Quarantine about humanity? And I don't want to call it more than that. What did you learn about humanity?
About to the core of all of us, we really are kind people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happens when people are out in the world, but during that time, during Club Quarantine, people were so kind to each other, that's the one thing that I miss from that time. We all got back into the political game, and we're all like on opposite sides. It's very polarizing right now.
No question.
But during that time when there was a lot of uncertainty there, we were just super kind to each other, man.
Yeah. Every time I reflect upon moments like these, it is unnerving for me that it takes tragedy,
yes,
and uncertainty, and fear, to put us in a space where we are stripped down to our humanity.
Yes.
But that came through loud and clear in the story that you shared, and I'm so glad you shared it. Our guest is D Nice. When we come forward, we'll talk about these two big shows at the Apollo.
Yes, sir.
This weekend. You're listening, and I'm glad about it, to Tavis Smiley.
Hope, agency, dignity. This is Tavis Smiley.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. Think about your mentors and idols, the people who inspire you the most. While it may look like they have all the answers, they don't. But they do know when to ask questions and seek the support they need. In a world that glorifies hyper-independence, it's easy to forget that we're all better with a support system. Therapy is a great way to find a consistent source of support in your life, so you can break free from the outdated belief that seeking help is a sign of weakness. BetterHelp has experienced therapists ready to help you with challenges ranging from anxiety and depression to relationships and stress.
It's convenient, too. You can join a session with the click of a button, helping you fit therapy into your busy life. You can even send your therapist a message anytime something comes up. Build your support system with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/ABCRadio today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/ABCRadio.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up.
Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month. If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living, Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
More honesty than you can handle.
More empowerment than you can imagine.
You're tuned in to Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and D Nice. It has been 5 years since Club Quarantine, and to celebrate that, he didn't just come by to see me today, which I am honored and humbled that he did, in studio before he hops on this plane to head back east to get to New York for these shows at the Apollo this weekend. Talk to me about these Apollo shows, D Nice.
Man, I'm excited. I'm excited about the Apollo shows. You know, the Apollo Theater has been extremely supportive of this journey. And the fans, and what I love about the people, actually I don't want to call them fans, just the people who support. They you think about it, man, I'm asking you to fly to New York. I'm asking you to put a nice outfit on. We're gonna party all night, and I have musicians playing on top of me DJing. Like, it's important for me to let that music feel live. And it's just beautiful. And I have It's a lot of old school, you know. I have Lisa, Ooh. Nice and Smooth. Who else? I have Case, Tracy Spencer, man, Deborah Cox. I got a lot of people on this show, you know. Man, it's just, but more so, it's just gonna be a good time, you know. And I can't wait to get there. I'm headed out soon.
Miles, I can do this because it's my show. Pull up Tracy Spencer, Tender Kisses.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Just put it up right quick. You went there. So I gotta hear it.
We gotta hear it.
You went there. We gotta hear it, man. You went there. Give me some. I just need to hear some Tender Kisses, man. You said Tracy Spencer. You took me back. Turn it up, man.
Let it breathe.
Yeah. Our remaining moments with D Nice when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Leave me here all alone. I want somewhere I can call my own. I may be young, but I'm ready.
What's your quarrel with the world? You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Do you enjoy fatty foods, sweets, and alcohol? Who doesn't? Unfortunately, all those things put a lot of pressure on our liver. That's why pharmacist, best-selling author, and nutritional expert Sherry Torkos recommends Active Liver from New Nordic.
The liver is an incredible organ. It works nonstop to process toxins and chemicals from our food and drinks, medications we take, and even environmental exposures. As a health expert, I'm often asked how to support the liver's natural detoxification process and offset the effects of fatty foods, sugar, and alcohol. I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. This gentle plant-based supplement is an effective way to support your liver's vital functions as well as your energy and overall well-being.
With its powerful blend of turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke extract, Active Liver is the perfect way to keep your liver healthy and you feeling your best. Active Liver is available in both a delicious gummy or tablet. You can find Active Liver in the vitamin aisle at your local CVS or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Individual results may vary. Consult a doctor prior to use.
If you've struggled to lose weight in the past, this important message is for you because you could lose as much as 50 pounds or more with Zelfie. Zelfie makes it easy and affordable to get weight loss treatment 100% online. Zelfie providers can prescribe FDA-approved GLP-1 weight loss medications clinically shown to help people lose weight like Wegovy, Zepbound, and others. Plus, help get the medication covered by insurance so it's as little as $0 a month.
The doctors are super helpful, and the meds have been a game changer. It's the first program I've had success with.
Before Zelfie, I was unable to lose weight, even though I was eating healthy and exercising 6 days a week. Zelfie helped me not only lose weight, but I feel so much better.
Text GOAL to 200-300 to get started today with Zelfie and see if weight loss medications like Wegovy or Zepbound are right for you. Don't wait. Text now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text GOAL to 200-300. That's GOAL to 200-300. GOAL to 200-300.
Helping to make you the most knowledgeable person in your circle of friends. This is Tavis Smiley. Just talk.
It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you.
Rakim, my man.
Yes.
I'll ask you to explain why we're playing this in just a second. How did you find Tracy Spencer?
Man, I found Tracy Spencer while I was playing a set on IG, and I was like, wait, where's Tracy Spencer? And the fans went and found her IG, and they were tagging her and tagging her. And then Tracy started following me. Then I sent her a DM. I was like, yo, I grew up loving you, and we need to do shows together. And this will be our second show, you know.
So she's at the Apollo.
She's at the Apollo. She'll be at the Apollo on Saturday.
And what about Rakim?
Rakim was another one. I've been trying to do these shows with Rob for a while. He did one show with me at the Kennedy Center.
Right.
And I was like, listen, this is real talk. I was like, listen, I know it's gonna sound crazy, but it's gonna be like a 30-piece orchestra, you know, playing on top of it, live strings, and everyone thought I was crazy. Man, when he heard that music, it was done. He played, he stayed for the after party, and now he's doing the Apollo with me on Saturday.
He one of the coldest of all time.
Yeah, he is cold, man.
He's top 5 without question.
Can you believe he's only 18 on this song?
On this track?
Yes. It's only 18. Man. Lyrically, like, incredible. The tone of his vocals, wow.
What do you hope to accomplish with these shows at the Apollo this weekend? What's the goal?
You know, the goal is for people to come into the show at the Apollo and to walk away feeling like, you know, we fed their souls.
Yeah.
You know, and we you know, on Friday we have a welcome event, and it's not a party. It's it's an event where I just want to be there and shake hands and hug people that I've never met, and for them to share their stories, for me to laugh and share mine. because this is not a concert.
Yeah.
You know, this is all spiritual right here. You know, and I cannot wait for these shows.
So the folk that were in club quarantine 5 years ago, people are flying literally from all across the country,
from all over the world,
around the world,
yes,
to get to New York this weekend.
To get to New York, yep.
To the world famous Apollo.
To the world famous Apollo Theater. You know, we got to take it home.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm excited, man. I wish you were there.
Man, please.
Just to hear Tracy Spencer.
You're making me think about getting a plane ticket to get to New York this week. No, just that rundown, man. Yeah. It's gonna be fire.
It's gonna be fire.
Yeah,
I'm really excited about this show.
Yeah.
And I have surprise guests coming too, so it's really gonna.
Yeah. Well, on top of that, you don't need no surprise guests, but I know you're gonna bring somebody else.
Oh yes.
Let me just close by asking this: how would you situate Club Quarantine in your body of work? How do you situate Club Quarantine in your body?
After making music and photographing campaigns, and you know, when I think about it, Club Quarantine is probably the most important thing that I've ever done in my life.
Wow.
Because it wasn't about selling records. It wasn't about selling myself or anything. It wasn't about selling product. It was about doing something that was just kind for people, and also kind for myself. Let's be very clear. I was quarantined by myself. I was home alone. So the same way that everyone else felt is how I felt, and that music was saving me. So when I really think about it, it is absolutely the most important thing that I've ever done. But it wasn't possible without this whole journey, the entire journey, because that's how it all happened. Being kind to people along the way got me to where I am.
I was thinking Macaulay Culkin was home alone too, but he didn't do all this. he didn't. he didn't bring us Club Quarantine. I digress. If you can get to New York this weekend, and if you can get a ticket, I can assure you that the hottest party in New York City this weekend is going to be at the world famous Apollo down in Harlem, up in Harlem. I am delighted. I knew this would be a great time because I love you. I respect you. I just love you. There ain't nothing you can do about it. I just love you. But I knew we'd have a great time. But this has just exceeded all of my dreams and expectations. So thank you for giving me an hour in studio before you take off to New York. I thank you. Thank you, D-Nice.
Thank you, brother.
My great honor. Just like that, 3 hours gone. Back here tomorrow, Lord willing, to do it all over again. Until tomorrow, thanks for tuning in to Tavis Smiley. And as always, keep the faith.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Alexandria Ikamoni with 4 things you should know from BIN News. More than 3 million people, including